right, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 12th, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Jules, Zori, and Lady Pitbull here on UCY.TV. Good morning, ladies.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, all right for a Friday, rainy, cold.
Oh, it's raining there, huh?
Just drizzling a little bit.
Cold, how nice. It was so hot last night I could hardly sleep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
My peppers aren't very happy. I have all these bushes of peppers that want to ripen, and we're talking lows in the 40s, so that's not going to fly.
Oh, boy.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, we got them all in the greenhouse, so we'll see. Hopefully. I might have to get some lights going in there. But looks like it's going to be fall here, at least for the next week or so.
Wow. Yeah, it's same with here.
Yeah,
very
everyone's
early.
Anxiously waiting here.
What was that?
Everyone's anxiously waiting here to see if it even happens this year.
I'm sure it'll happen. We had snow. Saskatchewan had at least 3 days. Then I saw a big snowstorm whipping up in Wyoming, South Dakota, and Montana yesterday, and they were predicting snow for Denver.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy. So, all right, guys, so I want to tell you about something. My battle with YouTube just got personal.
Uh-oh.
Just got personal. Yes. Pigmine 5 got its third strike in 2 weeks yesterday. And I wake up at midnight last night to see a message in my Skype going, oh, the Pigmine website's throwing all kinds of errors. And I knew exactly what that meant. I went there and half the freaking website is missing. Pigmine 5 YouTube channel is no more. I think that one too many people got to see some truth with those beheading videos, and they took it down. It's gone forever. 15,000 videos, almost 3 million views in 10 months, and in 2 weeks, there were 3 strikes. Bang, 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 and it's over.
Yep, they wanted him down.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of those saved anywhere?
Oh, yeah, every single one is saved on a hard drive, and so we are just about done building a piece of software that's going to stuff it right up YouTube's ass. I'm so excited. I've had Pal coding like a madman for the last month, and we were just finishing the beta testing yesterday, and it all freaking works. So, you know what? I get my hands on that hard drive, and YouTube's going to be saying, what happened?
They're going to be going, Uncle, Uncle.
Oh, there's got to be over 60,000 videos now that they've ripped down, and it's all going to be stuffed right up their ass.
Oh, my
That's
God, I
exciting.
can't wait.
In lots of places, too. I'm going to make an A, B, and C site. So those videos are everywhere. You know, here's what pisses me off. I was so happy yesterday because I was like, man, it finally is at the point where when I'm on air, now mind you, out of those 15,000 videos, I watched 14,985 of them and probably shared about the same. But, you know, when you do that, it's ingrained into your brain. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I had all those in my memory hole. And so when we're talking about something, I'm like, oh, yeah, I saw a piece of news on that. And it got to the point over the last week since I've been back, I could just stick in like 2 tag words and put Pigmine at the end and bang, there's the video. They're all freaking gone now.
Jeez.
And you know, I mean, that happened to 4. That's the exact same thing that happened to 4. I think we were just at about 2 million when that happened. It was bang, 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 1, 2, 3. 3 have been sitting on life support for a while, and after they hit 4, bang, they hit 3, and that was gone. I think that was over 20 million views on that channel. So,
Yeah, and
you
how
know
long
what?
ago was that one? When they
Those were last year. It was 10 months
year.
ago. That was when we started 5. 10 months ago, they took those both down. So, I'm telling you what, the time of reckoning is coming for YouTube. That's all I got to say. I got a secret weapon, and my secret weapon is going to, like, stick a piece of dynamite in the tailpipe and light it up.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, yeah, figuratively so.
There
Figuratively,
you go.
with a
Yes.
figurative car and a figurative tailpipe.
But I do have to tell you, like, when I saw that message, the whole room started to move, and then the top of my head started to tingle.
Oh.
Oh, that was bad. Yeah, I climbed back under a blanket. I opened a window. I closed my eyes.
Ears.
What was that?
I can see smoke coming out of your ears.
Oh, it was bad. I just did some deep breathing exercises and then woke up again about 7:30 this morning. I'm like, okay, I'm still alive. I did not stroke out. Honestly, and I mean, I'm not even doing all the uploading and downloading. I'm just doing the sharing, and the watching. But could you imagine if that was yours?
Right?
Out of 5 channels? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's
And
rough.
it takes a while to upload.
Oh, you got to download them all first, and then you got to put descriptions on every single one, and then you got to upload them all, and then you got to share them all. So trust me, I'm going to take all the pain away out of all that, and we're just going to stuff it up YouTube's tailpipe.
That's great.
All that pain's going to be gone.
That's fantastic.
Then YouTube can feel some pain.
I'm going to make them hurt. It's personal now. It's personal.
Total bastards.
Anyway, this afternoon, I guess I'm going to have to go. So that graphic content playlist that we talked about last week is no more. None of those beheading videos. Actually, I think there is one on Pigmine 6. So make sure you go over there and subscribe on YouTube. Any of the feeds that we're pulling from Pigmine 6 are still on the website, but everything else is gone.
Maybe the solution is to come up with an alternative to YouTube.
Oh, we got it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, kick ass.
Don't worry. Secret weapon, trust me. We've been working on this for a while, but like I said, the very last pieces of the puzzle over the last day or two, we've been beta testing, and it all works. So, perfect timing, YouTube.
I'm extremely excited. That's awesome.
Yeah, just a few more things we got to get going, and it's just going to be the push of a button.
Nice.
That's all it's going to be. Yeah, but anyway, so the good news is Pigmine 6 in a week since it's been alive from 0 has almost 14,000 views. So I want to thank everybody because that means at least information's getting out and people didn't get lost this time like they typically do when a channel gets killed.
Right.
But that's it. That's all I wanted to say today.
That's
You don't even know. Like I did not sleep well. I had all these horrible thoughts. I then woke up from this dream where I got an email, and of course it was pink, like a pink slip, saying you got a strike, telling me that, due to whatever reason, we're now going to start restricting bandwidth to so many megabytes per day. And I was like, oh my God. No, it was in a dream.
oh.
But I was like, oh my God, now how are we going to upload stuff? How are we going to stream audio, upload videos? But
Yuck.
hopefully it doesn't come to that. But guys, I'm telling you, there definitely is censorship in action. I've seen a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. Even in Facebook chat, I think I mentioned this the other day, a couple different times, and it wasn't just to me, dropping a link in a Facebook chat, and it pops up where you get this like little red message saying that I'm not authorized or that content isn't allowed or something like that. They wouldn't let me send it.
That's weird.
Well, it's not weird. They're doing something.
Yeah, they
definitely
are
doing something.
Well, that's what's weird about it. I mean, here it comes. I think the clampdown's coming on everybody really all at once.
I think it is. Too much truth, people.
Yeah.
Way too much truth. So anyway, nothing blew up on September 11th, huh?
I guess not.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Well,
That's crazy
really
in and of
expecting
itself.
something. Yeah, I was really expecting something to happen somewhere.
Me too. Somewhere else in the world.
well, did we start bombing? I think we might have
Yes.
started bombing Syria, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he gave the okay for it. I don't know if they've actually bombed yet, but yeah, we're going for it again.
And we're not going to stop for a long, long time.
Yeah, Obama doesn't care as long as he just reads his prompter. He just You know, he doesn't care. You
Yeah,
can see it.
It's amazing all the hypocritical crap that he says. No, I never said that. No.
I know, contradictions within the same speech.
Well, this is what pisses me off. So all those little contradictions were caught in 2-minute snippets and uploaded to YouTube. And guess what? They're all gone now.
Really? Did Pigmine have that?
Oh, he had everything. He had all the, I had a playlist called Obama that I hadn't made public yet, but there was one called Putin. And as a matter of fact, yesterday on Pigmine 6, I went through and I recreated all the exact same playlists and started sucking the videos from the new channel in, but those aren't public. Those are still locked. But, yeah, I was thinking to myself, look at how awesome this is. We should do a video just with his little clips. You know, remember that one that we played where he kept saying about the health care?
Yes.
You can keep your health care. You can keep your health care. Yeah, well, we had those for everything else.
I have over 2 gigs of just Obama videos since he started his campaign.
We should do something with that. Create a YouTube channel called Obama Sucks and upload it.
I might do that.
You should.
Obama Sucks.
You could do a mass upload now too. So just point it and go.
You're kidding. I haven't uploaded anything in YouTube in a while.
Oh yeah,
Really?
and create a YouTube channel with a good name too that'll get search hits.
Yeah.
You should. Do it, Dory. Do it.
I will. If I
Time to
get the
stick it in
internet going.
YouTube's pipe, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I will. You know what? I will. Thank
Well,
you.
because here's the thing. You go out to the mainstream news sites, and I don't know how many of you guys spend time out there, but I have over the last couple of years just because of some of the stuff I've been helping with. And I'm going to tell you what, I didn't realize that once those videos hit the website, they go into the memory hole. Like for CNN in particular, you can't go back and look at historical stuff. They don't have any
Right.
type of historical search. Once it's gone off their feed, it's gone.
No archives or nothing, huh?
No. I mean, maybe if someone takes it and embeds it somewhere, it might be there. But not in their feed. Not if you're going back like last week. Oh, I caught something on CNN. I want to go find what he said. It's not out there.
Wow.
That's why I download like crazy.
Yep. And so every time I see one of these mass takedowns, you know, and especially this channel was all the ISIS stuff, all the Syria stuff, all the Ukraine stuff. There was some pretty damning information out there.
Absolutely, big time. And so that they can't have that now, can they?
Yeah.
No. We're gonna spank you, Pigmine. So that's
Well, or anybody, you know.
yeah, everybody pretty much. For that matter, they're probably going after everybody one by one.
I'd like to know who the last strike was from. Honestly, I don't know that yet.
Did they tell you?
Yeah,
you
they
know?
send you a pink slip and tell you who you get the strikes from, but I don't. I mean, I don't have access to that. I need to wait and find out who did it.
Is it just like regular people that can do that, or does it have to be an administrative thing?
I mean, I guess people, but it's typically an owner of some footage claims some bullshit story. And I'll tell you what, here's where it typically comes from. Let's say CNN airs a clip that some, Tariqi Tafiki in Syria filmed, and they aired it on their broadcast. So then you share their clip, and then Tariqi Tafiki goes to YouTube and says, hey, that's my clip, I claim it. But really, it was YouTube that should have got, or CNN that should have gotten the hit.
Right.
CNN's the one who broadcast the clip.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work.
But you can't argue with YouTube. There really is no arguing. And the second you do open a case to argue, guess what happens?
Right.
The eye of Sauron comes on you, and you not only don't get that strike waived, but you probably get another or a third, and your channel gets taken down. That's happened before as well.
Oh my God. Crazy.
You know what? It requires lots of databasing skills, but trust me, Trust me, trust me. I'm going to make this a personal.
Oh, boy.
Watch out, YouTube.
Yeah, watch out.
Take it on Google. You want to mess with me, Google? You've met your match.
This should be very interesting.
Yes, I'm just sitting
It might
back.
take a little while, but I got to get that hard drive. If I get that hard drive, then it's game on.
I'm surprised you haven't gotten it yet.
Well, it's because every day there's more videos, you know. So it's pretty, I think we should just call it cut date is what my thought is.
Yeah.
Cut date, call it, get a new drive, and just ship it.
Yeah,
And make
like
sure you make 3 copies before you ship it so it doesn't get lost in the mail, quote unquote.
Yeah. Doubt. Call it October 1st.
Yeah, there you go, or something. So what else is going on?
My goodness. Let's see. I just kind of got back into business myself. Thanks to Zori, she helped me out with my little computer virus. Let's see. Oh,
I have a funny one to start it out.
There you go.
Shoplifter used Walmart motorized wheelchair cart as her getaway vehicle. Now, have you seen how fast these go?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And it says, after stealing $600 worth of merchandise from Walmart, a Michigan woman made her getaway on one of the store's motorized wheelchairs, according to cops who collared her 2 miles from the retailer. Shirley Mae Mason, 46, was arrested Monday night and charged with the theft of $1,200 electric cart and 6 bags of stuffed clothing.
Oh, nice.
During questioning by police, Mason said that she decided to swipe the motorized cart after failing to secure a car ride from the store. Mason, according to a police report, said she just didn't feel like walking. How's that?
Sounds like my grandmother.
Yeah, the one that owned the bar?
Yeah, she would have done something like that.
Yeah. That would crack me up, though.
That is funny. All right, I've got one, and it kind of goes in with this YouTube, dovetails right in with the YouTube. It says, U.S. threatened a massive fine to force Yahoo to release data.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'll
I just saw that on Madison's.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It says, the U.S. government threatened to fine Yahoo $250,000 a day in 2008 if it failed to comply with a board demand to hand over user communications.
Well, that's a law now, I believe. Wasn't
Really?
that over the last year? So they passed something that they either had to, at the request of the feds, when they wanted data, they had a choice. They either had to put in the surveillance software that the NSA was running, or they would be facing fines of $200,000+ a day if they didn't hand over the data.
Right.
What is that?
I'm
That's
pretty
called
certain that
blackmail
that's-
and extortion,
It
isn't
sure
that right?
is. Yeah. But hey, they gave them blanket immunity. So,
Yeah.
there should be no question there.
Plus, they took the gag order away. Now they can say it out loud. Before that came about, they gave them a gag order when they got their information from them. So they
I
couldn't
remember
say
that.
anything.
Yes. All right, go ahead, Wendy. Sorry.
Interesting. That's all right. It says a request the company believed was unconstitutional according to court documents unsealed Thursday that illuminate how federal officials forced American tech companies to participate in the NSA agency's controversial PRISM program. The document's roughly 1,500 pages worth. Online, a secret and ultimately unsuccessful battle by Yahoo to resist the government's demands. I don't understand how they could lose that freaking case. The company's loss required Yahoo to become one of the first to begin providing information to PRISM, a program that gave the NSA extensive access to records of online communications by users of Yahoo and other U.S.-based technology firms.
Yes, that PRISM was one of their surveillance programs.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's this next one. A ruling by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court of Review became a key moment of the development of PRISM, helping government officials to convince other Silicon Valley companies that unprecedented data demands had been tested in the courts and found constitutionally sound. Okay, so let's back this up here. We've got the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court of Review saying that something on our soil is constitutionally sound. Did I read that right? I think I did. I mean, that's Interpol. I think that's an arm of Interpol, in fact. And they're telling us what the hell is constitutionally sound. That's what makes me mad. That's what chaffs my ass. So, it says eventually most major U.S. tech companies, including Google, Facebook, Apple, and AOL, complied. Microsoft had joined earlier. Before the ruling, NSA documents have shown. So those are all the sellouts. A version of the court ruling had been released in 2009, but was so heavily redacted that observers were unable to discern which company was involved, of course, what the stakes were, and how the court wrestled with many of the issues involved. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm done with that, because it's pretty long here. I don't want to keep droning. Well, get the idea.
Yeah. And it's probably way worse considering that was 2008.
Exactly.
There is no pushback anymore.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They've all been beaten into submission and told you do what you're told.
That's right. And roll over and expose your pink bellies because we're going to start striking real quick.
Well, plus, they get paid also. They don't just have to hand it over for nothing.
You have proof of that? I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it came out, probably 6 months ago. I can go look for the article, but yeah, they get paid so much. Well, almost all of, like the grocery stores where if you have one of those discount cards, they sell that information too. It's big profit, big money.
Yeah, it just makes me mad that there's a foreign intelligence surveillance freaking court deciding what's constitutionally sound on our soil, in our country. There's a problem with that, and if people don't have a problem with that, then they're freaking brain dead.
I see a story from July 11th of 2013. Verizon, AT&T get the most bucks from feds for wiretaps. So it was a year ago, but yeah. How much are your private conversations worth to the U.S. government? Turns out it can be a lot, depending on the technology. If the era of intense government surveillance and secret court orders, a murky multi-million-dollar market has emerged, paid for by U.S. tax dollars, but with little public scrutiny, surveillance fees charged in secret by technology and phone companies can vary widely. AT&T, for example, imposes a $325 quote-unquote activation fee for each wiretap and $10 a day to maintain it. Smaller carriers such as Cricket and U.S. Cellular charge only about $250 per wiretap, but snoop on a Verizon customer? Oh, yeah. Verizon, man, they're the worst as far as charges. The cost to the government, $775 for the first month and $500 for each month thereafter. Well, good. I hope I am sucking the government dry then. According to industry disclosures that were made last year to Congressman Edward Markey. Meanwhile, email records like those amassed by the National Security Agency through a program revealed by former NSA analyst Snowden were probably collected for free or very cheaply. Facebook says it does not charge the government for access, while Microsoft, Yahoo, and Google won't say how much they charge. The American Civil Liberties Union found that email records can be turned over for as little as $25. Good thing I don't put anything worthwhile into an email.
Right.
Industry says it does not profit from the hundreds of thousands of government eavesdropping requests it receives a year. Yeah, what? It's costing Verizon $775 a month to be able to put a tap on my line? I don't think so.
Man, that sounds like hinky.
Once you turn a tap on, they're probably just dumping it all to a database full of MP3s.
Yes.
Right? How hard is that? And then feeding it out via service.
And then Microsoft gave them all those back doors.
Long time ago. Yep. So that's about it. It continues on. But, I mean, yeah, so I guess they do get paid.
Yeah.
Big business surveillance.
It really is. They're just sucking more money and sucking more money just out of everything. Even if you're a corporation. I
came across a story yesterday before I logged off for the evening from Al Arabia. I'm not really sure where this one is out of. Hold on. Let's see if there is a About Us. I'm sure it's probably one of the another Middle Eastern propaganda arm. Does it even say about? It doesn't. I'll have to look into this and see who's putting out Al Arabia. But what's interesting about Al Arabia is that they put out some stories, of course, that you don't see here. And this one is one of the ones that I haven't seen anything covered about, but we've said things about this. U.S. rivals slam anti-ISIS strategy. This is from yesterday. Actually, it's dated today because of the time zone difference. Both Iran and Syria slammed late Thursday night the United States for excluding them from an international coalition aimed at combating the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, affectionately known as ISIS. Now, Iran and Syria are probably the two biggest enemies of ISIS. Why would we not include them?
Yeah, right. Don't you think?
In our international coalition? And what the White House called our partners in the region, if you notice that.
Well, that would spoil their plans. I mean, they might get destroyed. And then where would we be?
Well, that might destroy their plans to invade Syria and then Iran.
Right.
That was right. That's the end game. That's the chessboard. That's been the game the whole time.
Yes.
But it ends up that ISIS is just as much of an enemy to them as they are to us. And so now we're not including the two countries that really would have a vested interest in them getting destroyed.
That's right. Exactly. This is exactly the hypocrisy that's going on.
Now, why isn't this in our news? Saying that Iran and Syria are going, hey, how come we're not involved?
Right.
Jeez. That's what I mean. God. You don't really know what's going on over there, because our news isn't telling us anything.
Of course, no. Absolutely not. It says the strongest reaction, however, came from Russia. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's main international ally, a Russian foreign minister statement said such military action without UN Security Council resolution, quote, would be an act of aggression and a flagrant violation of international law, unquote. Now, where have we heard that before? Have we not accused Russia of doing that with Ukraine?
Oh, yep. Yeah.
And hasn't Russia more of a claim to Ukraine than we have to Iraq or Syria?
Yes, I would say so. Russia and the Ukraine are border each other a little.
Oh, and they're attached at the hip. They were a former Soviet territory.
That's right. A lot of Russians live there.
They absolutely do, and a lot of the eastern, I believe, right? The eastern Ukrainians, the ones down on the peninsula, want to still be a part of Russia. I mean, they actually had that referendum. They voted to become a part of Russia, and then we stepped in and said, wait a second.
You can't do that.
That wasn't done fairly. Those elections weren't fair. Well,
right.
They sure seemed it to me.
Yeah. Oh, my.
I mean, I even heard a couple clips the other day where they were interviewing somebody over there, and they kept saying, we want to be a part of Russia. You know, they had all those military bases down there on the port, and that's where their bread and butter came from for that whole region, was from the Russian military.
Sure.
Just like in U.S. towns and cities that have military bases, you know, that's where the economy comes from, is from the military.
That's right. That's how it works.
Or the prison industry, one or the other.
Yeah.
Right. Syria's main Western-backed opposition group, meanwhile, welcomes Obama's first ever authorization of U.S. airstrikes in Syria, saying it stands, quote, ready and willing to partner with the international community to defeat the militants. But the Syrian National Coalition said that airstrikes need to be coupled with a strategy for ultimately toppling Assad. Now, of course, that's what the whole end game is regime change there, because they're not playing our game.
Right.
You know, we've tried to go in under many different cloaks to get our grubby little hands into Syria, and they've been thwarted every time. And so now this whole creation of ISIS has been the reason to get there. And after Syria comes Iran, mark my word. That's actually been written and laid out.
Hell yeah. As soon as Iraq is divided into 3 parts, it's a perfect staging point to get right into Iran. Perfect. Sets up the whole stage perfectly. And you know what? The Council on Foreign Relations has been writing about this in their freaking white papers forever. Right. For over 12 years they've been writing about what their intentions are. All you gotta do is go in there and read it. And,
Grand chessboard.
Yep. Zygmunt Brzezinski, that bastard, he's been writing about it even before that. So, you know, they're the criminals, and they are the ones that, like, actually have to tell you what they're doing, even if it's like they told you 12 years earlier. They still told you, you know, but nobody's going to hold that criminally against them, which that should be held as evidence against these people. And they should all be freaking arrested right now.
As all the clips disappear.
As all the clips disappear, and as more innocent people die, you know, everywhere, it's getting to be like way, way, way over the top here, and everybody just sits back and allows it to happen and continue, and I can't take it, man. Somebody's heads need to roll here, so to speak.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yes, hypothetically speaking, yes. Justice needs to be done, and not on, you know, innocent people like in Iraq and Syria. It just drives me nuts, and it's really all tribal crap.
Here's a really disturbing part of all of this. So we've gone in, and we usually, you know, pull the humanitarian aid card before we go in and start bombing, which I noticed we didn't do this time. But if you pay attention to what's been going on over the last few years in Syria, they have millions and millions of refugees that are living in tent camps in all the countries around Syria right now, and there's a massive humanitarian crisis going on right now. So how are we going in now to bomb the shit out of this country, going to help all of these dislocated people? You know, exactly. one of my relatives works for an international aid organization, and she jet sets all around the world, and she actually posted something on Facebook the other day from her organization that said just that. And I was like, holy shit, you guys are right. Even though you might not get the whole picture, you're absolutely right. If this is such a big freaking issue for humanitarian, and we care about these people, why aren't we sending in aid?
Well, because we're going to help them by bombing the shit out of them. That's how we're going to help them. We're going to help them just to die and end their suffering. And if you're Bill and Melinda Gates, then that's your objective. You know what I mean? It's exactly how these people think.
Yeah. Speaking of humanitarian aid, there was a story that Brandon Turbo wrote yesterday. I actually gave him a hand. He was having some trouble getting it all formatted on the Antimedia site. So while I was formatting it, I was reading the story, and I have to tell you that he makes a really great point. He wrote a story based upon an article that Heather Callaghan had written. This story is called "Declining Family Dinners Pose a Choice. Communitarianism or Make Wall Street Pay." In her article, quote, study proposes outrageous solutions in lieu of family dinners, Heather Callaghan of Activist Post describes, as the title suggests, one of the many ludicrous solutions being presented to combat the inability of families to provide for themselves and maintain a normal family life. Government-sponsored communal family dinners. Now, we've been talking about prices on everything going up and how, this coming food shortage that's all been orchestrated is part of the plan. But listen to this. This is a federal group under the USDA suggestion as to how to combat our they're actually saying it's because mothers are working and can't get the family together for dinner, but I think there are way other reasons for this. Callaghan's article refers to a study supported by a grant from the USDA National Institute of Food and Agriculture called the Agriculture and Food Research Initiative, and it is published in Contexts, which I believe is some sort of publication. I don't know really what Context is. The study was tasked with exploring the relationship and gap presented in popular culture and the realities that people live with when it comes to feeding their children. And Callaghan writes, quote, the researchers interviewed 150 females and families with children between the ages of 2 and 8, as well as conducted observations of 12 of these families for a total of 250 hours. The result of the findings produced the kind of results that only academics would require money to determine. The doctor in charge stated that we found, quote, that middle class, working class, and poor families all faced a similar challenge. For example, mothers from all backgrounds reported difficulty in finding time to prepare meals that everyone in the family would be willing to eat. Elliott's suggestion is essentially that some type of government-sponsored community mess hall must be created where families can now share the burden of preparing the food and cleaning up. Elliott's description, which I didn't read, there was a whole segment out of the thing, and actually maybe I should back up there. This is a summary of the writing that they did. In addition, middle-class mothers reported being torn between their desire to spend time with their children and the expectation that they needed to provide the children with a home-cooked meal. Middle-class mothers were concerned that they weren't able to give their kids the best possible meals because they could not provide all organic. Now, I would say that that's something that we're all concerned about. And poor families, meanwhile, faced more severe restrictions. Their financial limitations made it more difficult for them to afford fresh produce, find transportation to grocery stores, or have access to kitchen tools needed to prepare meals, such as sharp knives, stoves, pots, and pans.
Like the homeless.
Like the homeless, yes.
Yeah.
Elliott's description sounds like the description of a work camp kitchen. He said that there are lots of ways we could do this, from community kitchens to where families work together to arranging to-go meals from schools. There is no one answer, but we hope that this work inspires people to start thinking outside the family kitchen about broader things we as a society can do when it comes to food and health. The suggestion involves volunteering some members of the community to cook and clean while others come together en masse for a family dinner, or as it translates to reality, a giant dining hall reminiscent of high school and prison cafeterias or military mess halls. If this is Dr. Elliott's idea of how to encourage better nutrition and the quality and frequency of family dinners, then perhaps he should not quit his day job. Of course, considering his asinine suggestions, maybe he should. The truth is that Elliott and his cohort's ideas are nothing more than a gimmick, and an incredibly stupid one at that. The true reason family meals are on the decline, as Callaghan points out, has to do with the economy. The fact is that family dinners are on the decline because many families can no longer afford to have them. And while some families are too busy to find the time to have a family dinner with both parents working, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs, others cannot afford such luxuries due to the fact that they are not working at all. This is the reason family dinners are becoming extinct. It is not because the mothers are simply unable to navigate around the eating schedules of their families as they have managed to do for centuries prior, nor is it because fathers are simply forgetting to bring home the bacon. So there you go.
Very good, yep.
I mean, Are they talking about having like homeless shelter meals for communities now? Is that going to be the new thing?
Oh
Sounds like, or like one big mess hall where, yeah, you stand in line but they also mentioned in there the families could go there and prepare their own meals. It doesn't make too much sense. And besides, most of the people are homeless and can't get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they're suggesting is that the community pull together. So, today is your day to go make dinner for the whole neighborhood.
Right.
And tomorrow it's,
Okay.
But still, it's disturbing. That's very disturbing. Like,
I'd say so, too.
Does that not sound like the Depression?
It sounds like they're trying to set... It sounds like they're trying to set up a Depression-like atmosphere.
Soup kitchen.
Yeah, so that gets everybody acclimated for when the time comes, when they're going to collapse the economy.
Well, most communities, I know we have one. We have the Mission there where people can go get a hot meal if they're homeless. Those are already in
Well, right, those are
in place.
Yeah, and just about every community has at least one of those.
Mm-hmm. Except for the ones where they don't allow you to feed the poor or the homeless. I think, isn't New York one of the states that doesn't allow?
Well, I think that's on the streets. I think you're not allowed to be feeding homeless, like handing a homeless person a cheeseburger.
Yeah, that might
be.
Just
insane. I mean, if somebody's got a freaking cheeseburger or whatever that they don't want, like if they get an extra one and somebody's begging on the street, I mean, come on.
Yeah, because they don't know what's in it. Well, you know what? It's food.
It's unbelievable. I don't know, man. It's becoming harder and harder and harder what they're doing is making it harder to take care of the poor people. They just want everybody in the same damn boat. And it's that way. We're easier to control that way.
Well, too, I went grocery shopping on last Tuesday, and the 1 pound of hamburger was $8.99. I went by the store yesterday, $12.99 for that pound of hamburger.
See?
Yeah, see, I was saying that last week that we had friends of friends that live in Florida, during the year, and they come up here in the summertime, obviously, because it's much nicer here in the summertime than it is in Florida. And that's what they were telling us, that hamburger was like $12 or $13 a pound down there.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I was bitching about almost $5 a pound for 80% lean hamburger. But could you imagine? And even in Texas, it's expensive. Gringo, if you're out there, what's a pound of hamburger going for? And I mean, you would think in the heart of cattle country that you'd be getting hamburgers still at $2 a pound.
Right.
You would think.
You'd think.
It's $22 a pound for grass-fed organic beef here.
Holy crap, I think y'all need to go get cows.
My $12.99 must be a good deal then.
Well, I mean, that's not... Your $12.99 isn't for grass-fed organic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Yeah, well, that's what it is here.
Oh, we're getting a deal then, I guess, but sure don't feel like it.
Well, I think we all need to get Bessie then. Maybe that freezer full of Bessie at my parents' house isn't so bad. But
Hell no, it ain't so bad. Hell no. Everybody should be doing that, like, immediately and getting generators to back it up.
and don't name the cow.
Oh, no, don't let it become a pet.
That was my problem. Don't name the cow. Yeah, I wonder...
we never named our cow.
What was that?
We never named our cow. We just... I think my dad even said, don't do that. So, we never did it. And it ended up in the freezer, but it was great. All these... We ate off that thing for years.
Yeah, my dad still has a freezer full of Bessie.
It's wonderful.
I just found something dated yesterday, Capital Report, in regards to beef and milk prices, but they don't give beef prices, and that's what I wanted to see, but I'll read this anyway. If you've got a beef with higher milk prices, here's why. Oh, it's milk prices, beef. Well, milk prices have gone sky high, by the way. And, of course, they're blaming it on the drought, high feed costs, and tiny herd sizes. And that's what we've been saying all along. You know, this drought kind of precipitated everything, but is the drought orchestrated is the question. Right, sorry. I mean, Dane will tell you that all day.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, if anyone's got any pricing from different parts of the country for like a pound of 80% lean hamburger, I would be very interested. $6.99 for 85% a pound for regular hormone-enriched meat-style burger feed. So I believe that was out of Texas as well.
Hormone-enriched.
Well, look, in just 4 days, it went from $8.99 to $12.99 in 4 days. So I can imagine what it's going to be next week when I go to the store.
Well, it's like called supply and demand, right? That's how it works.
What's the excuse for that price jump, though? Like an oil field caught on fire somewhere in, the other side of the world?
A drought.
Well, in California, it's a drought.
Yeah.
And plus, you have to remember that California provides over 50% of the produce in this country. Well, they did.
Well, just wait now. They didn't plant this year. So right now, most of the country's been producing food, right? We've had halfway decent temperatures, so we could all grow vegetables. But put on a seatbelt for like October, November, and December, people.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the produce would normally be coming from, except that they didn't grow them.
Yeah, because they weren't allotted any water.
No.
Not enough water. They did some planting, but, I mean, most of their fields were bare.
Well,
interesting. Like strawberries and things like that are going to suffer, right?
And like, look,
next
tomatoes.
spring.
This year, I don't know one person that got a good tomato crop, and that is the most abundant thing we always used to have.
Yeah, now last year I didn't get any. This year I have them coming out my ears.
Yeah. See, that's crazy.
Isn't that weird? And it's the trees are already starting to turn here. I mean,
that started in August here.
It did.
Andy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy what's going on. I mean, absolutely crazy.
And then snow. Snow the first, not even 2 weeks into September.
Yeah. Well, we know
warming.
What's going on. Global geoengineering.
Well, like what have they been saying all along? Control the weather, you control the world.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they got that down pat, don't they?
Somebody said ISIS beheaded all the cows.
So I knew it was their fault somehow.
Well, speaking of beheading cows, that was something that we talked about, probably 6+ months ago. I came across this story that was so disturbing. One of the things that I've had a fear with over beef for many years, since probably the early 90s, was mad cow disease, and back when the Bushes were in office and they first started finding mad cow, and then of course, the world nations all banned our beef for a while, and it hit all of their cattle farming friends very hard. And so we had to kind of scrabble around quickly and come up with a way to a method to test these animals. And we came across what we're not going to use is nerve tissue in animal feed or in human food. Oh, how nice. Thank you. And we are going to make sure that if a cow has downed itself already where it's having convulsions and falling to the ground, we are not going to put them through the slaughterhouse. Hey, good thinking.
Yeah.
So automatically that protected the global beef supply from the United States. They opened the doors and they let it start shipping again, and all of Bush's buddies were happy. Except I don't trust any of those assholes, okay? So I'm going to tell you that isn't what happened. What happened was we got way more careful, and when we first started seeing the signs of convulsions in a cow, we took him out.
Killed him. Yep.
Yes, we took him out before he fell to the ground. But, those were just suspicions for many years. So I see the story. It had to be at least 6 months, maybe even a year ago. No, it was probably about 6 months ago. About cancer. Cancer is animals that we are ingesting. And namely in this story, it was cows. And what they had caught them doing was that they were sending cows loaded with cancer to the slaughterhouse. And then when the inspectors showed up to inspect whatever was being processed, they would give them healthy cow heads to look at, because that's how they test for mad cow disease. They have to go into the brain, and the cow has to be dead. But for cancer testing, they were giving them heads of healthy cows and saying, look, this cow was healthy. He didn't have cancer.
Oh, my God.
Now, this doesn't surprise you, right?
The cancerous meat has been going into the food supply. So if the cancerous meat's been going into the food supply, so is the mad cow meat. You better believe it. Because remember, it all comes down to profit. Not to your health, not because we care about you, down to the bottom line, Q1, 2, 3, and 4, and what the shareholders believe.
That's right.
Welcome
FDA,
to corporate America, baby.
And the FDA doesn't do their job. There's no even reason for their existence.
There isn't.
I mean,
there's no reason at all.
Well, they've admitted they don't have enough freaking inspectors. And
they said they don't have the authority to really do anything.
Well, and you don't think that there's not any slippery palms going on? I mean, that's the American way, okay?
Yeah.
That's how it works in organized crime.
Yeah, exactly. An organized crime.
Well, it's a big organized crime syndicate. The whole globe is a big organized crime syndicate that involves the rich people.
That's right.
And the large organizations who want to make profit. And it's all that endless carrot. I mean, profit is our doom. Do you realize that? That golden calf that everybody worshipped, that's it. That bull, that golden bull sitting in the middle of Wall Street, how damn fitting is that?
No shit, huh?
When I was there for the original, very first getting arrested for Occupy, I could not believe that there literally is a golden bull in the middle of the road on Wall Street.
And that's the one with the real mad cow disease.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, get back to religious texts. They worship the golden calf.
That's right.
That's the ultimate. That is what caused us to sell the human race down the freaking river. It's all about chasing the carrot.
Awesome analogy, Jules. Absolutely.
It's true. It's
is
what
true.
sold us Bernays and our consumeristic society where they brainwashed us that having things is more important than other people or the planet.
Well, yeah, when a 6-month-old can recognize brands,
Exactly. You got a problem.
Big problem.
The fact that somebody would turn in their neighbor for a $500 Walmart gift card on an anonymous tip line's got to say something.
Or turn in their guns for that amount of a Walmart gift card.
Yeah, and when they did that in L.A., I could not believe the lines that were formed.
Yeah, assholes will line up to get those freaking cards. Snitch on your neighbor, turn in your gun. Come on. What the hell's the matter with us? What have we become?
Just what they wanted us to become.
Right. Chasing the carrot. Paying attention to something that can control us. How many people would kill for $1? Think about that in society.
And if you take away all the food and the power grid or whatever, people are going to be killing for a lot less than $1. Even when the dollar isn't worth anything anymore, they'll still kill for it.
Well, money is the root of all evil. I still say that. Money actually fuels a lack of morals.
The love of money.
The love of, yes.
Yes.
Putting money before everything else. And I mean, I had family members who are no longer with us that they were just like that. Money was first before everything.
Yeah.
And they would do anything to get another dollar.
Right, and collateral damage is the people.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
Here,
now that we've just summed all that up.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a quick hour. Here's a story. Mighty Bite pork and beef prices continue to soar. Restaurant owners and grocers are coping rather than having a cow over high meat prices across the United States. The price of beef and veal shot up more than 10%. This was actually from August. from June 2013 to June 2014, according to the Consumer Price Index, with pork rising 12%. The reason, drought. Drought has thinned cattle herds and disease has struck the swine. Yeah, there's been this horrible pig disease, that diarrhea disease that mysteriously appeared that spread everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't even sell pork now at the health food store where I shop.
Yeah, and I don't know, pork has trichinosis and stuff, so pork always kind of made me feel sort of sick, just so you know. I don't know.
But I love bacon. I can't help it.
Yeah, bacon. Hey, there's actually, did you know that for all those bad foods, the cold cuts, the sausages, the bacon, did you know that they have nitrate-free and nitrite-free?
Oh, that's the only kind I buy. That's the only kind I buy of that.
But do you ever see that advertised anywhere in a commercial or any manufacturer of any of those products saying, hey, we have preservative-free ones that don't cause liver cancer versions of all of these?
Oh, right. Hell no, you never
And you would think they would because they're always more expensive.
Yeah, way more expensive. But you sure think that they would, but guess what? If they told you that all the other stuff that they put out to the rest of the consumers who can't afford the $6 for hot dog package was causing cancer, but this more expensive stuff does not, they probably wouldn't do very well anymore.
I don't know. People wouldn't put two and two together, I'll tell you, anymore. They just, I don't know.
Well, to me, it seems that if they had a product that was new and improved, that was healthier for you, they'd be advertising that all over the board.
Well, here's the thing. There's a grocery store. It's the Kroger chain here. They, added like organic foods to their line and things of that nature, and it's really sold. And they've had to expand the organic food aisle now, and because people are, speaking with their dollars. Now, and I was looking for bacon the other day in Kroger's, and I went over there, and not one single thing was nitrate free. Every single thing that they had on the shelf in there was just loaded with nitrates. Everything. And there's no other choices in those kind of a store. You know what I mean? So I think if people were given the choice, I think people would start to actually do that. So I'm kind of putting in the faith column of this.
Well, yeah, that's why you're seeing organic sections of stores, is because people are demanding it. We do control what they sell by our pocketbooks, by what we buy.
It's really eminently pleasurable for me to see like somebody with their little hand cart that they're carrying around, the little hand basket with organic food in it. I'm just like, yes!
Well, let me warn you guys about something.
Yeah, China.
Just because it says organic does not mean that it's not GMO. Just
True.
So you know that. It can still be a GMO and grown organically. So remember, Monsanto was coming out with their new organic line.
Yeah, I wonder when that's supposed to hit the store.
I don't know. We should go hit their website for some press releases because that was coming soon. And I believe they were actually putting a different name on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, 2.0 GMO, baby.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, though, in this expanded organic section of the store that was non-GMO.
You want to find the non-GMO label as well as the organic label. That's all I'm saying. Just because it says it's organic does not mean it's non-GMO.
That's right.
Yeah, and a lot more products are coming out with the no GMOs. And then you have your farmers market. But yeah, watch for that really close.
Well, one thing that I haven't had my family eat in quite a number of years now was corn, because most corn now is GMO, and we're looking at BT corn plus whatever that other type of corn is that are all loaded with pesticides. And I actually found there's 3 versions now of the chip, but there's corn chips out there because I love tacos and eat fajitas and things of that nature. So, one of my favorite things is to have a few corn chips with it. After I'm sick of eating the taco or my chimichanga or enchilada or whatever the hell I'm making today, I like to take a little chip and dip it in there and eat it that way. But I'm not going to do it when it's GMO corn. I'm just not. Right. It's not going to go into my body.
I haven't ate corn in so long, and I love corn on the cob. Well, a friend of mine, he had a good crop of corn this year, and he brought me a bag of organically grown corn on the cob. I was in heaven. Oh, man, it was so
Was
good.
it non-GMO?
Yeah, it was non-GMO. They used nothing but heirloom seeds, and seeds that his family have done themselves over and over for years.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, God, it was so cool. I just said, all right, thank you. Because that's always been one of my favorite foods.
Have you been able to find non-GMO stuff, Jules?
Yeah, well, there's one brand, and I don't remember the name of the brand off the top of my head, but there is one brand, and it comes in kind of a paper-ish bag. It almost looks like a little brown bag. And there's 3 kinds. One is sea salt, one is no salt at all, and one is garlic, I believe. But those are non-GMO organic corn chips.
Nice.
And they're not that expensive. So just know that there is one brand out there that's making it. If your grocery store carries it, it's probably on the very bottom shelf in a corner somewhere.
Right. Well, one thing that's kind of cool about living near a progressive liberal town such as Ann Arbor, People's Republic of, they have a lot. There's like actual, it's called the Ann Arbor Tortilla Company, and they use non-GMO stuff, and they have the absolute best chips ever. They've got like restaurant-style chips in a paper bag, and they're totally non-GMO, and they're all organic, and it's just fantastic. And there's an abundance of that here.
Well, that's great then.
I'm lucky.
Here, I want to get back to this beef and pork story. I just wanted to read this next question. So they're talking about the consumer price indices increasing 10% in the year for beef and 12% for pork. And it says the reason, drought has thinned cattle herds and diseases struck swine. The domestic beef supply, I had not realized that it was this dire. The domestic beef supply is at a 63-year low.
Oh, wow.
63-year low.
Dude, that's alarming.
That's
numbers.
very alarming. And trust me, I know I don't want to be eating beef from other countries like England, where they had all that scrapie and other,
China.
brain-eating diseases, or Japan, Kobe beef that's all glowing in the dark now.
Or China.
Yeah, I don't know. Does China do much beef? I think they do a lot of chicken.
Start.
Yeah, there's money in it.
Yeah.
So the beef supply is at a 63-year low, and the price for wholesale beef has soared to a record $2.57 per pound July 25th, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So the wholesale price is $2.57. They're charging us $4 or $5. So they're doubling their profit there.
See? That's the only thing they can do.
The prices have gone up for beef, and all we could do is pass it along. Yeah, at a 100% markup. The situation may not immediately change because time is needed to rebuild cattle herds, as cows can only give birth to 1 calf per year, and the calf needs as long as 18 months to gain weight for the market. And think about this one. Dr. Huber talking about how there is a marked increase with these animals, cows in particular, horses as well, eating this GMO alfalfa, of stillbirth abortions.
Yep.
Stillbirths. And not making it to term. So this is only going to get worse, people. This is not going to get any better. You have drought. You can't grow your feed. If you can't grow your feed, you can't support a herd. And if the feed you do grow happens to be genetically modified bullshit that'll grow in a drought, let's say, and then you're feeding that to the last few cattle you have left, they probably won't be reproducing either.
Well, there's a dairy not about 7 miles down the road. And, I mean, you drive by there, it smelled strong, and you would just see cows. I mean, just hundreds of cows they had on this dairy. Now you go by, and I swear, they don't even have 50. It's that bad.
Let me just read this last paragraph, this quotation. Quote, The price keeps going up and up and up. Sometimes it goes up $1 a pound in a week. I cringe on Mondays when they bring the prices in. You try to eat some of that, but you can't eat all of it, and you can't change your daily menu. This is a restaurant owner. Do you put down the market price instead? At Christmas, the price is going to be jacked up $30 for fillets, but that's what it is now in the middle of the summer, and there is no relief in sight.
Become a vegetarian.
No.
Yeah, or eat test tube beef. Guess what? They're lining it up.
That's right. How do you control a population? You control the food supply. How did Stalin do it? How did he subjugate all of those people and killed millions of people? He starved them out.
It's unbelievable.
Total
Go ahead.
Here.
I missed that.
Oh, I said total communist manifesto plan in action right here, right now. It's exactly what's going on. And they will do it through the food supply and are. Only the elite are going to be able to eat beef soon.
Very soon, at $30 for a steak?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be able to afford that? I mean, even over 4th of July week, any of the good steaks, like porterhouse or what's the one?
Ribeye?
Yeah, the ribeye. Those are $13, $14 a pound.
That's right.
When have you ever seen that? I know I haven't.
There's this at Kroger's. There's this teeny tiny little. It's not even a half pound. I think it's like a couple of. I think it's an ounce, and it was like $17.
That's crazy.
It was just this tiny little piece of filet, and it was $17. I'm just like going,
Well, it will. It'll be for people clinking their champagne glasses together, eating their $30 1-ounce filet.
That's right. So Obama and his cronies are going to be doing that while everybody else is starving.
And meanwhile, we're paying the Fed's paying out millions of dollars to get monkeys drunk.
Oh,
well, and billions of dollars in military gear that we're sending to the Middle East that then is getting picked up conveniently as a gift by all the terrorists we created.
No kidding,
right.
huh?
Why is, if we just pulled out and started spending that money on building reservoirs and growing crops and
infrastructure.
Infrastructure and helping
Take
people
care of our own.
Get jobs and create industry, this would be a much, much better world right now.
How about let's start by start reinforcing our electrical grid system against an EMP. That might be a wise place to start.
Yeah, they haven't even gotten to that yet, by the way.
Hell no.
They've been talking about it forever, but they haven't gotten there.
And they've got, our budget won't allow for it. That's bullshit. And everybody knows it. This whole government and this whole system is illegitimate, and, it needs to change.
Well, the fixtures are going out the back door.
That's right. Fast.
Yep. And then they're being chop-shopped and sold on eBay.
Mm-hmm. All coming from China.
No, they're all coming from here. Maybe the Chinese are buying it on eBay.
Yeah, there you go. That's more the point, yes.
Hey!
Oh, my God.
AP actually put out a clip. Syria and Iran slammed the U.S. plan in fighting militants. Hey, they did it. So somebody in this country actually posted something. Hold on. So it isn't just Al Arabia. Let me connect myself to this call. And I know I start with a J.
Watch it disappear real quick, though.
Nah, though. We'll see. We'll see if it gets a strike. All right.
That's why it's good that you're playing it on air.
Yeah, here we go. Let me get out there. One of the few videos left on the website. Oh, Jesus. Come on.
After President Barack Obama announced he was authorizing U.S. airstrikes inside Syria for the first time,
this counterterrorism campaign will be waged through a steady, relentless effort to take out ISIL wherever they exist.
Syrian and Iranian officials criticized the Obama administration for excluding them from an international coalition coming together in the battle against the Islamic State group. However, Syria's main Western-backed opposition group welcomed the president's action, targeting, for the first time, the extremists inside Syria. Kurdish politicians in Iraq also praised Obama's announcement of wider airstrikes and assistance to Iraqi forces.
He has fully understood the situation and the alarming development of this terrorist organization within Iraq and Syria and the entire region. So there is a full understanding of the nature of the problem.
The announcement drew the support of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
All civilized countries should stand together in the fight against terrorism that sweeps across the Middle East, sweeps across the world.
Russian officials said such military action without a UN Security Council resolution will be an act of aggression and flagrant violation of international law. Germany's foreign minister says officials from the Group of Seven powers will meet later this month to discuss a political strategy against the extremist Islamic State group. Bob McCall, Associated Press.
You know, didn't it sound to you like Bob McCall from Associated Press was reading from that Al Arabia article?
It did.
Interesting.
Wow, that is very interesting. I mean, he said some of the exact same statements that whole article said.
Maybe that's the talking points.
Well, maybe. I want to find out who's running Al Arabia now. But here's the thing. I was thinking about this as it was playing. What right do we have to decide that we're just going to go bomb the shit out of Syria, regardless of who's there?
Here's the thing, even more so
Syria
than
didn't
that,
ask us, though. Syria did not ask us.
Right. Well, hell no, but that's the thing. I keep hearing this clip, and Obama keeps saying that we will get terrorists wherever they are. So that gives him license. He's
Carte
literally
blanche.
saying, yeah, carte blanche, anywhere, any country, anywhere. And so it's not safe.
Even your backyard.
That's right.
Which they're lining that up, man. Look out. Right. ISIS is here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bingo. That's
well, we create them, then we go out and fight them.
That's right. So, and they're going to be hiding under your couch.
Just like the gypsies.
That's right. So here we go. I mean, he's telling the world that he has license to go anywhere.
That's really bothersome because
it is.
I mean, Syria is its own nation. We don't have anything to do with them.
It apparently it doesn't matter anymore if you're your own sovereign nation or not.
If you start bombing another country, is that not a declaration of war?
I would say so.
Regardless of the reason. I mean, if China came over here and started bombing the United States because they said that there were,
boogeyman down out
well,
the
yeah,
backyard.
Some sort of hackers or something that have been attacking them, and it was the bane of their existence, and so they're just going to come over here and start doing airstrikes to take out those hackers that are hacking Chinese servers. What?
All right. This is setting the precedence for that.
Would we be okay with that?
Well, it's obviously setting the precedence for something like that to absolutely happen in the future. I mean, it's just going to be this free-for-all while they just sit there and wine and dine on their frickin' golf courses.
Well, Obama's never followed through on anything that he said. That's our only hope right there.
Oh, no. This is going to make profit for Q4, so trust me.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have much of a say in this, I'm sure.
I know. All he does is read the prompter. He doesn't...
Congress hasn't declared war since the 40s. So they've been doing this
they're
crap
behind
for a long
him this time.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, it's because they're all invested in the military-industrial complex.
That's right.
And remember, it's Q4, end of the year. We got to start making some money, man. We didn't have enough war this year.
Mm-hmm. Q4, you got to get that profit margin way up there.
I mean, we're doing well for Q4 because we gave away all that equipment, that surplus gear that had been sitting around to ISIS, to all the police departments, which then, oh, by the way, lots of them lost the 1033 gear. It just kind of vanished. which I had that clip sitting around, and I bet you that was on the other channel.
Neat. That's cool that there's a clip with that because I read the story a couple of weeks ago now.
Well,
oh yeah, they're losing M16s, tanks. I mean, how do you lose a tank?
How do you lose an M16?
Yeah, whoopsie! I totally read that story. Remember that story?
The M16s they could be taking home, but I mean a tank, you know, are the bigger.
Yeah, a tank. Yeah, how the hell do you lose a tank out of a freaking locked yard?
Oh wait, guess what? This was on the live channel, so here we will play this one. Local police lose assault rifles and Humvees provided by the Pentagon. I'm just so glad that our tax dollars are going to then give the local police department M16s to put into their home gun arsenal.
Yeah.
And a Humvee in the backyard.
Yeah.
Here we go.
3. That's the number associated with the Pentagon program that's come under fire in recent weeks. The 1033 program provides surplus DoD military equipment to state and local civilian law enforcement agencies. The idea is that the federal government can help police officers in their counter-narcotics and counter-terrorism operations. But as we're finding out today, some of that weaponry is being used in some more questionable ways. According to a recent investigation by Fusion, there's an alarming trend within law enforcement agencies that are employing this program. Not only did many of these agencies fail to comply with the program's guidelines, some of them even routinely lost dangerous weaponry. Now, because of that, 184 state and local police departments have already been suspended from the program. In the investigation, Fusion uncovered a pattern of missing weapons that includes M14 and M16 assault rifles, 45 caliber pistols, shotguns, and 2 missing Humvee vehicles. But perhaps what's even more alarming than that is the possibility that some of these weapons are now getting into the hands of the very people who they are supposed to help fight. And that means they could be circulating on the black market. Analysts say the decentralized structure of the program is what makes it difficult for the Pentagon to keep tabs on police departments and the weapons they've been issued. It's a concern that came forward for the first time last month in the wake of Michael Brown's death by the hands, of course, of a Ferguson police officer. Brown's death sparked public outrage followed by massive protests. But demonstrators were met with law enforcement that was reportedly operating more like a military than a police department. And as a result, the program is now under White House review. Also, some elected officials are calling on their colleagues in Congress to make some fundamental changes. In Washington, Amira David, RT.
Under Washington review. Come on, who gave them the equipment?
Yeah, exactly, the feds. And why aren't the feds tracking? We can't even track equipment we're giving to our local police departments.
Right.
So, do you think they're tracking what's being dropped all over the world internationally?
Oh, hell no. All that Fast and Furious stuff, man, that stuff's not trackable. They've made it so.
Well, they actually, when they found guns, they would point out that they were from the Fast and Furious program. I thought that was the whole point of the program. But
yeah, but I mean, the ones that go overseas, I mean, you know what I mean?
So where are the Humvees? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, in somebody's backyard or in their garage.
In their pole barn.
Or being sold on eBay, like they said.
Right.
Sold on eBay.
Or did they give it to the local VFW as a donation?
There you go. As a raffle prize.
Yeah.
Raffle prize.
I know VFWs around here. I've seen one that has a tank, an old school tank out in front. There's another one near Buffalo that actually has a big helicopter in front of it.
I've got a tank, literally, less than I don't know, like 5,000 feet from me right now. There's
a VFW. A functioning tank?
Nope. It's in front of the VFW hall. Well, on the side now, they moved it, but the VFW hall's right up the river from me. I can actually see it when there's no leaves on the trees.
Yeah. And you got a tank in your view?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, you got to really, really straighten to see it. It's just up the river, which is pretty cool. I mean,
But it's not a functional. It's from like what, an older.
Probably World War I tank.
It's decommissioned, absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, the stuff that they're dropping off now, none of that's decommissioned. Because here's the thing. If you were only giving away decommissioned old parts that aren't made anymore, then you wouldn't be generating this, what's it called, planned obsolescence? To be able to keep manufacturing more and more and more and make more and more profit.
Well, now that we're going to go back into another war, they're going to have to make more because they've already given away what they did need.
And they lost all the stuff in Iraq. Damn.
That's right.
Hey, it's Friday today, and I was just thinking, we haven't done this in a long time. I have the phones open. How's that?
Hey.
Wow, okay.
People want to call in, have something to say this morning. 718-717-8296. Do-do-do-do-do.
That's always
fun.
Speak
your piece.
Yeah, speak your piece. I don't know. You have something to say, but there's so many things right now, and I got to tell you, I just am disgusted beyond belief.
I know.
It's hard to stay focused, too, because there's so much.
Yeah. I agree with that big time. It's like, where do we go from here, right? And what's cool about callers is that they throw the topics in different directions and stuff, which is kind of fun too sometimes to jump from topic to topic. So call in, guys.
We usually do that on Mondays.
Yeah. We do, don't we, Zori? We're all over the frickin' place. Oh my god. There's no cohesion. But hey, sometimes that's okay too.
Yeah, because at least it gives you a hint of everything, the massive amount of things that are going on.
God, man.
Yeah.
Well, here, I just found a clip I did want to play how the president's ISIS plan will be carried out. So I guess they shared all the details with us.
Oh, they finally have a plan.
I guess, yeah. After he was bitch slapped for saying he didn't have a plan.
It was 13 years ago today that America declared war on terror, and it's not over yet.
Oh.
As the country again remembered the nearly 3,000 who died in the 9/11 attacks launched by al-Qaeda, President Obama expanded the war against an al-Qaeda offshoot known as ISIS. The Sunni Muslim group is seizing territory in Iraq and Syria and waging a campaign of terror, including the beheading of 2 American journalists. The president laid out his plan for destroying ISIS in his address to the nation last night. And tonight, we have a series of reports beginning with David Martin on how the plan will be carried out.
The U.S. military flew only 2 airstrikes overnight and today, knocking out ISIS machine guns near the Mosul Dam as it geared up for more aggressive attacks. Until now, the strikes have been confined to 5 locations in Iraq. Once the new campaign begins, all ISIS forces across northern and western Iraq, including their leaders, will become potential targets. The mission is to both degrade ISIS and help Iraqi ground forces take back lost territory. The U.S. Army will set up expanded, more permanent headquarters in Baghdad and in the northern city of Erbil, and 15 teams of Green Berets will be embedded with Iraqi units to help coordinate the strikes. 475 more American troops will arrive in Iraq in the coming days, bringing the total to 1,600.
Yeah, for not having feet on the ground.
Planes will be based in Erbil, freeing up unmanned drones to conduct surveillance missions over ISIS safe havens in Syria. In recent weeks, ISIS fighters have taken over entire bases, complete with ammunition dumps, which once belonged to the Syrian Air Force, and which now could become targets for American airstrikes. To destroy ISIS will require putting troops into Syria, which the Pentagon has ruled out. Instead, the Pentagon has asked Congress for legal authority and $500 million to begin training a Syrian opposition force to do battle against ISIS. Saudi Arabia has agreed to let that training take place on its territory.
Pentagon officials say the new air campaign inside Iraq could begin within days. Airstrikes in Syria are more likely weeks away. Scott?
David Martin at the Pentagon for us this evening. David, thank you very much.
Did you catch that? Permanent. permanent bases.
Permanent bases, yes. And they're lobbing missiles at a dam over there. And the Saudis are going to be training.
Yes.
So the Saudis train freaking ISIS on their freaking ground. And now they're going to be training the other
Now they're
side
gonna
too.
fight them. You know, it is comical if it wasn't so damn serious.
Exactly.
Well, hold on one second. I have another article here by Brandon. Actually, he wrote 3 over the last, 3 days.
Oh my god, he rocks. Whoops.
Whoops.
What was that?
That's my mom calling me.
Oh.
This is titled Obama's Speech to America, Stop ISIL by Funding ISIL. Wow, isn't that how ISIL started? As
Yes.
ISIS? That was the one terrorist group that we were allowed to fund because they were being trained to go against Assad in the very beginning.
Well, yeah, remember John McCain was over there with them saying we have to support them.
Yeah, well, even before that, I remember Madison did a story right around when the time the NDAA was passed, and it was about, any financial support to a terrorist group obviously made you a terrorist by association, and as part of the NDAA, you could have imprisonment without trial.
Yep.
But this one group, Obama came out and said, but it's okay because these are rebels that are going to be fighting this group and going against Assad because of this humanitarian crisis, and they encouraged the American public to send donations to this terror group. Now, of course, I'm like, come on. Anyone would be so stupid to do that, right?
I remember that.
And but here's the thing. So now our solution to get rid of ISIS that we created by having them open funding is to fund them.
Right.
Again. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of this. As many had expected, as soon as the announcement was made that Obama would make a speech on September 10th regarding his strategy against ISIS, the U.S. president has confirmed that he reserves the right to engage in airstrikes inside of Syria. The president outlined a 4-point strategy that would, according to him, quote, degrade and ultimately destroy ISIS. Obama stated that, quote, if left unchecked, ISIS could prove a threat across the Middle Eastern region and possibly the American homeland. Obama warned that ISIS terrorists originated from the United States and Europe and could return home to engage in terrorist attacks on both American and European soil. Of course they did. The president also announced his desire to create a, quote, broad coalition to roll back the terrorist threat. The 4-point strategy is allegedly, 1, a systematic campaign of airstrikes against terrorists in Iraq, as well as a plan to work with the Iraqi government and the Iraqi military forces. 2, to increase support to force fighting ISIL on support the forces fighting ISIL on the ground. This will take the form of, we just heard that, 475 additional U.S. service members. Obama claims that these troops will not have a combat mission, but instead, again, an advisory role. Obama also stated his intention to increase assistance to the Syrian death squad fighters fighting against Bashar al-Assad. Number 3, increase counterterrorism efforts, cutting off funding to terrorist groups, and improve intelligence on the ground. Obama stated that he intended to convene a meeting of the UN Security Council in 2 weeks to discuss these matters. And then, finally, 4, increase humanitarian assistance to the victims in the crisis in Iraq and Syria. Oh, so we are going to increase humanitarian assistance. Is that where the planes come in and the bombs?
Right, that's how we do that. That's how we roll.
Right, we bomb and then we bring in aid.
Mm-hmm.
Obama made it clear that he will not hesitate to take action against ISIS and that he has the authority to combat ISIS. But he believes that the country is stronger when the president consults Congress to make these decisions. Toward the end of his speech, Obama stated that he intends to take out ISIL wherever they exist. All in all, Obama's speech to the nation was nothing more than an exercise in the live broadcasting of our utter insanity.
That's right.
Yes.
Obama's 4-point plan is entirely full of deceit and contradictions. His statement regarding ISIS in Iraq and Syria is a thinly masked lie, covering up the ultimate goal of launching airstrikes against a secular government of Assad in Syria, despite all of the airstrikes taking place in Iraq and those to take place in the future. ISIL is entirely the creation of the United States and NATO. Now, if there was anybody who knows the entire story of every movement, nook, and cranny of how this has all developed, it would be Mr. Tuberville, by the way.
He rocks.
Brandon's been following this since day one, and he has had some of the most amazing information on what is really going on there.
Brandon's amazing.
In that same speech, Obama professed to desire to cut off funding for ISIL while he simultaneously announced his intention to increase financial and military assistance to ISIL in Syria. If Obama were truly serious about ending terrorism in Iraq and Syria, he would immediately cease funding it. He would also call on his NATO allies and his allies of the Gulf state feudal monarchies such as Saudi Arabia and Qatar to cease their funding and assistance as well. And aside from comments that have no basis in reality, such as his statement that, quote, America's manufacturing industries are thriving, unquote, and that American businesses are experiencing the, quote, biggest streak of job creation in our history, unquote, Obama also took the opportunity to take a jab at what he calls the, quote, Russian aggression, unquote. Taken with the statement that he reserves the right to use force against anyone that threatens core American interests, one can only surmise that the Western provocation in Ukraine will continue as planned. And while echoing Brzezinski-esque cries for dignity, Obama also proceeded to take credit for the rescue of the trapped Yazidis on the Mount Sinjar, despite the fact that the Syrian Kurds who it was the Syrian Kurds who actually rescued the Iraqi victims. And if you remember, those Yazidi were our cry as to why we were going to start bombing ISIS in Iraq.
That's right.
And then we never rescued them. I believe the Boko Haram story, too. You know, we haven't talked about that in a long time, but all those missing girls, that's why we all of a sudden had to put boots on the ground and start bombing the shit out of, what country is it, Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Yeah, with the Boko Haram and all the missing girls. There was actually an African publication that put out a story saying that they found the 200 original girls.
Yeah.
But you never, ever, ever saw that. And that was right before we launched those airstrikes. Like, we had already announced we were doing it, and then they said they found them. But it never came out in our news, and we continued with the operation. And they are still pretending that none of those girls were still ever found.
Right. It's, oh my God. And so now Africa goes here.
Well, and we heard that clip yesterday and the day before from that doctor in Detroit saying how conveniently that every country that has Ebola now is one where we've imperialized our boots on the ground.
The CIA gets a foothold in there.
Mm-hmm. Proxy war with China and Africa, proxy war with Russia and Syria and Ukraine. All right, last statement here. In the end, Obama's statements of aggression and duplicity came as no surprise to informed observers. The Western-backed terrorist organization known as ISIS will be used as an excuse to continue American imperialism in the Middle East and to justify a military strike on Syria.
And to justify us, we're going to be losing more rights. You know that.
Absolutely. And on the 13th anniversary of 9/11, which started it all.
We're in deep shit.
By the way, I have Brandon has this little bio at the bottom. Let me read this to you guys because it's pretty impressive, actually. Brandon Turville is an author out of South Carolina. He has his bachelor's degree from Francis Marion University, and he's the author of 6, and I believe actually it's 7 books now. Codex Alimentarius, The End of Health Freedom, 7 Real Conspiracies, 5 Cent Solutions, Dispatches from a Dissident, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and The Road to Damascus, The Anglo-American Assault on Syria, which, by the way, that's probably one we should all read, because that outlines everything he's been watching over the last couple years transpire that has now turned into the situation we're in right now. Turville has published over 300 articles, which I'm sure is probably over 400 or 500 now, dealing with a wide variety of subjects, including health economics, government corruption, and civil liberties. Brandon Turbeville's radio show, Truth on the Tracks. This is actually on an activist post, by the way, in his bio. Can be found every Monday and Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific at ucy.tv/TT. He's also available for radio and TV interviews. Please contact him at this address. So, there you go.
Nice bio.
So, kudos to Brandon.
That's awesome.
I'm very, very happy that he's a part of our team. And
he's
some good eyes and ears. He definitely is.
Top-notch researcher, too.
Yes. That's what I like, actually. When I read his stuff, like a lot of different websites and stuff, when I read people's stuff, I'm always double-checking facts that don't have some sort of background link to them or source material. But one of the things about Brandon is that I know he is not putting anything on paper until he's proven it to himself that he has proof.
Yeah, that's really the way to go. I mean, if you got any legitimacy to you at all.
Well, that's the way to gain legitimacy, obviously.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And they're scared of that.
Do we have anything more to say about ISIS? I don't know. I'm kind of ISIS out at the moment.
I think Brandon covered it all, actually.
So that's where we sit right now, the day after 9/11, at the borders of getting ready to declare war in Syria as an imperialist nation that I just can't even get over. We accused Putin of doing the exact same thing in Ukraine. And like I said, Putin had way more claim to Ukraine than we have to Syria. Yeah. And I do not believe that Putin ever went in and started bombing Ukraine.
He didn't.
Did he? It was the rebels that have been causing all the skirmishes, ones that support their Russian brethren. But I don't think Putin himself has launched airstrikes into Ukraine. Because that would be a full-out declaration of war. But we have all these embargoes against him now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he broke what? UN Security Council requirements or whatever? That's
wasn't even our stuff that he violated.
And don't we have NATO now calling on them, saying they are the enemy? Because they broke NATO rules? And I think those are the videos that are gone.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
I think that was on the old channel.
That's a big deal right there, if that's what the target was.
But wait, I might be able to find it from the source, so hold on. Yes. NATO Deputy Chief says Russia is now the enemy. Let me see if I got a video, because we're going to play this. And that's so NATO. Oh, and look it's a Press TV link and server not found.
Oh, they are targeting that.
Well, let's see if we can find it on CBS News.
Interesting.
I did find a story.
So who's calling the shots? I think it's just like that article I read earlier. International law is now governing usurping the Constitution.
Well, but why aren't they coming at us is what I'm saying. If they're calling Russia the enemy for going after Ukraine, which they didn't.
How about us going after all the other
in
countries?
Syria? Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's a double standard because it doesn't serve their interests. That's a double standard. Yup, that's what they operate on.
Here. I think I found this one.
Nice.
This is from June. June call. If it loads.
And you know, Putin's been pretty quiet, too.
He has been, yes. Putin has shown a lot of restraint. I am not a Putin lover, but I'm going to tell you, between the two of them, Putin has actually at least played the part of world leader.
Well, at least he's acting like an adult, you know, and not making an ass of himself out there.
Exactly.
Very much.
And he's at least trying to find some solutions. Now, I'm not going to say that he doesn't have some grand...
NATO Secretary General Anders Fogh Rasmussen says Russia has resumed a military buildup near Ukraine, calling it a very regrettable step backward. Speaking in London Thursday, Rasmussen said, "I can confirm that we now see a new Russian military buildup, at least a few thousand more Russian troops deployed to the Ukrainian border, and we see troop maneuvers in the neighborhood of Ukraine." He added, if they're deployed to seal the border and stop the flow of weapons and fighters, that would be a positive step. But that's not what we're seeing. Last week, NATO Commander General Philip Breedlove said Russia is no longer acting like a partner, and so it was time to reevaluate the situation.
Across the last 2 months, it's been very clear that they have not been acting like a partner, and now we need to reevaluate.
So I guess it's bad if you do it, but it's okay if we do it.
Right.
That's it. That's just about sums it up.
And if it's not sanctioned by us, then no one else can do it either.
I want to see who these NATO partners are that that are going to partner with us against Syria.
Yeah.
France for sure.
Yeah, there actually was a list in the one story. Hold on. Iran, the U.S. Wait. U.S. rivals. No, that was them. Hold on. Maybe if I go back one. I saw there was a headline story earlier today. But maybe not.
Well, in his speech, he said we had lots of people with us.
There's 40 countries. A coalition of 40 countries now that are going to be joining together to fight ISIS. It seems that the entire world has teamed up to wage war. Wow, so that's great. The entire world has teamed up to wage war. Isn't that called a world war?
I'd say so.
Yeah, World War III. And do they give the list?
They might. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know. We'll see what the article says. It seems that the entire world has teamed up to wage war against one of the smallest terrorist organizations, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. But is ISIS really worth a broad international coalition of 40 countries? In my opinion, and this is this gentleman, Abdullah Rahman Al-Rashid, writing the story. In my opinion, ISIS itself does not require but a few local forces on the ground working in tandem with the United States to hunt down the organization and eradicate it. But such a force will succeed in destroying. In destroying ISIS. But terrorism in general requires a collaboration of hundreds of countries to encircle it and rid the world of it. This includes ISIS, the Al-Nusra Front, Al-Ahrar al-Sham, Boko Haram, and Ansara al-Shia in Libya, Al-Qaeda in Yemen, and other extremist organizations in the Sinai Peninsula, Sub-Saharan Africa, and even the Abdul Sharif group in the Philippines. At this point, the world can claim that its cooperation has led to a distinct job that will find support from Muslims everywhere. Oh, yeah? The crimes committed by ISIS sparked Muslim anger toward terrorist organizations more than we have ever seen before. Yeah, because it was created by the Western countries. In the past, Al-Qaeda succeeded in splitting Muslim opinion and lured support by raising the issue of confronting the Israeli occupation and defending oppressed Muslims. Oh, so is that the real reason why Al-Qaeda's our enemy? Was Al-Qaeda standing up for the Palestinians?
Yes.
I don't remember that ever being in the headlines.
Well, they're all, like, of Muslim sect and faith. Of course they're going to support each other. Wasn't there a bleeding over of that in Hamas and vice versa? I mean, I seem to remember that crap going on during the Bush years.
Well, in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was Syria, Iran, and what was the third country? There was a third country involved. Syria, Iran, and one other. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm searching for the states that are going to join the United States, because that article did not mention who the 40 states were. That was an opinion piece, by the way.
No.
All right. So who are they? Anyone else's fingers working? Find a story?
And, well, he also, I mean, he said it in his speech, but I don't ever recall anyone saying which countries that were these 40.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. Anyone else do a search and find them? No?
I'm trying.
I don't know. So how about a Cupid doll involving 40 nations because they were not authorized to speak on the appointment of these nations until the official announcement. That's why we're not seeing this. So I guess maybe the announcement has not been made official yet.
Yeah. So there we go. Huh. And they're going to keep that under wraps until they're already in there and already bombing like they are right now.
Yeah.
Bombing dams and stuff.
Or they don't exist.
Yeah, who's the 40 nations?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I may have it here. Let me see.
I saw a couple, and they were our usual allies, like France, Germany. Oh, look at how unbelievable all of these server not founds. Now, this is a story on the Boston Herald from yesterday. Server not found.
Weird.
I've been getting that too.
Hold on, let me see if let's see.
31 minutes ago, CIA says ISIS has doubled its ranks. Oh, yes.
Who's keeping count for us? We always seem to know how many people join them.
Yeah, but we don't know where they are.
Yeah, but we can keep count.
We don't know which cave they're in.
Okay. Turkey, let's see. Oh, Turkey refused to join.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Maybe you're looking at the same article.
Saudi Arabia was in the meeting Thursday, and other Gulf states such as Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, and Lebanon pledging to stand against terrorism. Well, let's see. We got a puppet government in Egypt. We have a new ruler in Iraq. Another new puppet. I don't know. Jordan and Lebanon, are they on our side? I thought that's where Hamas came from.
And that's a long ways from 40.
Oman, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates.
Okay, so those are more puppet friends of ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all just puppet stuff. Bahrain.
Yeah, another one.
And you mentioned the rest. That's only the
So
Arab
where's the
nations,
40, though? I don't see... I did see there was a NATO coalition that was going to join with us as well, and that included, like, France, Germany, probably Italy, right? Italy is owned now by the IMF. Aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Or, wait, no, what was that other country? Which we all forgot about. Remember they were burning all the trees, the forests in the street just to stay warm because the austerity was so bad?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell country?
Was,
and they sold their island to pay for, like, some of their debt.
Right. Was it Greece?
Yes, it was Greece, thank you.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, have you heard where they're saying that ISIS is so horrible that even Al-Qaeda has severed ties from them?
Well, yeah, we talked about that. There was that press release video that we watched, remember? Where they're saying, oh, we're not associated with those Al-Qaeda. Don't you remember that? And then the State Department released the memo right after that, changing their name, because they used to be called something similar to Al-Qaeda. Don't you remember? Like the Israeli state, Al-Qaeda.
Oh, yeah,
something.
okay.
And then they became ISIL. And then they became ISIS, and then they became IS.
Right, and Obama still calls them ISIL.
Yeah.
I've been catching that
And
a
the
lot.
news still calls them ISIS.
I know. I
Wait a
mean,
minute.
you know, and what is this? They keep saying that they should stop funding them, but yet we're fighting them. I mean, there's little things in these what he says, it's so... Like I said before, I look at it and go, it doesn't make sense. And I used to think I was the only one. But the man is a walking volume of contradictions.
Here's something it says, and this is directly from freaking John Kerry. It says across other, I'm kind of starting in the middle here, but it says across other lines of effort, we and the ministers noted in the strong Chapter 7 UN Security Council resolution enacted last month that calls on all member states to take decisive action to stop the flow of foreign fighters, counter ISIL's financing, and combat in its incitement. We agreed today that NATO allies in particular would work in concert toward these goals. And then it says this effort will also be a focus of the UN General Assembly later this month as we work to establish a truly global coalition acting together with clear objectives and common purpose. We will degrade and destroy ISIL capabilities and ensure that it can no longer threaten Iraq, the region, and the world. So basically, everybody that's at the UN General Assembly, all those countries assembled, are part of it.
That's great.
So that's what they're saying about the 40 countries. So basically, if you read which countries are involved in NATO, involved in the UN, then I think you got the rest of them. That's all my point was.
I'm trying to find here. A week ago, they announced 9, apparently. But
Yeah,
I still don't see them enumerated anywhere.
I just found one that said 10 countries have formed a coalition against ISIS on the sidelines of NATO summit in Wales, U.S., UK, Germany, France, Italy, Denmark, Poland, Turkey, and Canada, as well as non-NATO members Australia.
Yes, and France I see too.
Yeah, France. You can pretty
It's
much
still not
assume.
near 40.
Well, interesting now, isn't it? So
It certainly
I
is.
bet you what they're doing is saying, yep, everyone's going to join us, yep, but everyone's going, well, we're not really sure we want to be sucked into a global war of endless costs since we're all at austerity level. Oh, but don't worry, the International Bank will come in and help you fund it all.
That's right. And help you get more in debt because of it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
yes.
exactly what happens.
Mm-hmm. It's called economic hitman.
Yeah.
Someone should go in and it just never mind. My thought wandered.
Okay.
Hope it didn't wander too far.
Aw.
No, I'm trying to rein it back in.
And then from 4 days ago, there was a, which now nothing is loading on my computer, something that said, is NATO ally Turkey tacitly fueling the ISIS war machine? So, you said in the one report that Turkey was included.
Yeah.
But then you said in another report that Turkey wasn't participating.
It's weird.
Well, here's the story. Is NATO ally Turkey tacitly fueling the ISIS war machine on the Daily Beast? The lifeblood of death-dealing Islamic State is diesel fuel, and the group widely known by the acronyms of ISIS or ISIL is filling its war chest with millions of dollars earned by smuggling thousands of tons of this black gold into neighboring Turkey, according to independent analysis and Turkey opposition leaders. Remember, Turkey is a member of NATO and could and should be the key member of the U.S.-led 10-nation coalition that was formed last week at the NATO summit in Wales to fight ISIS. It has almost 650,000 men and women under arms. It borders ISIS-controlled Syria territory, where the black flags of so-called caliphate are visible from the Turkish side of the fence, and it has taken in more than a million Syrian refugees, as well as is no less than 100 miles from the de facto ISIS capital of Mosul, where 49 Turkish citizens, including several diplomats, have been held hostage since June. Turkey should totally be all for killing ISIS.
And weren't we trading arms through Turkey during Benghazi?
Well, yeah, they were being funneled in through Turkey, absolutely. Yeah. And they were training ISIS in Turkey. The CIA fully came out and admitted that they were training ISIS there and in Jordan, I believe, is where Brandon said.
Good point, Zori.
The Turkish government of former Prime Minister and now President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has long offered at least tacit support for Syrian rebels fighting against President Bashar al-Assad. Many of the international volunteers who joined that fight passed through Turkey, here we go, virtually unhindered. But there have been growing concerns inside of Turkey and among its NATO allies that as ISIS has grabbed control over much of the armed Syrian opposition and declared a caliphate recognizing no international borders, Agrodan has been slow to change course, and the diesel smuggling is documented in official figures released by the Turkish military just days before U.S. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel's arrival in Ankara on Monday. The lack of effective measures to stop the smuggling has some analysts doubting whether Ankara is fully committed to the confrontation with jihadists on its southern border. And they say the hostages are one reason, but there may be others.
Mm-hmm. Other manufactured ones, perhaps?
Yes. So take that for what it is. I honestly, I don't trust Turkey. We're playing both sides of the fence in that country.
That's right. And what ends up always happening, we always end up going in after they help us, and we always end up bombing the crap out of them. So they're just, it sounds to me like they're just setting the stage for that here.
Can we call Turkey on Turkey?
Yeah, turkey on turkey. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Where's the stuffing?
But that's the good kind of turkey.
That's right.
So,
oh my god.
Hey guys, I don't know how we did it, but we actually made it to Friday.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Shocking. It's good that we got through this week.
Yeah, I got a long way to go. It looks like my weekend that I thought I was going to be able to put my feet up at least by Sunday probably won't happen.
Oh,
I know. Well, I got a big mess, and all the shows still to cut for the weekend, so at least I'm not feeling tingly-headed and lightheaded anymore.
There you go.
Or deep breathing in an open window.
Coming out the ears.
No. Oh, my God. Was I just literally, the room had you ever heard that term about the room started swimming?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The room started swimming. I knew instantly when I saw that Skype message from Paul saying, hey, we're getting all kinds of errors being thrown. I was like, ah.
Shit.
And you know it's bad when your only reaction is to go lay back down. Oh, so happy Friday to me.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
You'll have to have a beer later.
What?
You have to have a beer later.
Yeah, I think tonight a beer is in order. Abso-freaking-lutely. So, I don't know. I might be hanging out in chat later on. Maybe I'll just say screw a bunch of it, and I'll start tinkering with trying to get the ponytail cam up and running. Maybe we'll do some demos. I'll catch you guys later. And hey, by the way, you know, if you two ladies want to help me at some point, this new tool that I've been working with, you can do conference video calls. So
really?
We literally could have like a triple morning ponytail cam if I can get this up and running. So, all right, guys, 15 seconds left, and that is the end of the show. Make sure you stick around. There's all kinds of stuff. After this, Mr. Hal Anthony has allowed us to run his archives. Mr. John Stokes, Mr. Jack Blood Live, Josh Anti-Tyranny News, and then we got replays of Dr. Simon, Brandon's This Week Truth on the Tracks, and Daniela Walls with her United Front Against Austerity, and then live Levant tonight at 11 Eastern. Anti-Media, thank you ladies for being on with me today. Thank you everyone for listening, and happy Friday. Let's have a beer. All right, everybody, take care.
Bye-bye.
Great weekend.
Miles per hour, spread them around.